is one of the things that I think men have a lot of problems with, that I'll open up to you guys, is being able to admit when you're wrong. I think that leads to a lot of guys, going down, fighting to deny ever being wrong with anything, and doubling down and staying in the slow lane of traffic just to prove they're right. And I think that, for me, admitting that you're wrong is a step to getting right. So it's like a quicker way towards getting that past that and not having to defend anything anymore.
And it's also just a general embracing of truthfulness, because no one can be right all the time. And, especially in parenting, one of the biggest things that I think is a gift you can give your children is is to apologize to them when you're wrong, when you make a mistake, or, if you get too crabby, or if you make them do something that you have second thoughts about. I mean, that's called being healthy.
Well, yeah, and that's a good father example that I think a lot of us didn't necessarily grow up with. Fathers don't want to admit that they're wrong, and then they'll silent treatment it out, or they'll walk out of the room or something. And
I think they think they're doing you a favor by teaching you how to submit. It's okay, if that's what you want to do, but I don't think it's particularly useful. I also think people, they have a hard time admitting they're wrong about things, because it's a house of cards when you're not if you aren't really self-examined, and you're kind of got a lot of neuroses that you're kind of shoving in a box and putting away and ignore and saying they're not there, it makes the whole lattice work of your existence pretty fragile. So if you start admitting I was wrong about that, and it's that's similar to all these other things in my life, I guess I'm all wrong about those, and then pretty soon I think somebody that doesn't have a firm footing thinks, well, my whole life is a lie.
That's a thing,
and a mistake.
Well, and you see it, obviously, the more entitled a person becomes and the more they start buying their own hype, I think the harder it becomes for them to accept anything. And certainly someone like Donald Trump has spent his entire life surrounding him with people who will tell him that even when he's wrong, he was actually the most rightest of all, kind of a thing. And it's fascinating to me, certainly when you see this in politics, this idea that it being such a liability to ever apologize or admit you were wrong, because no one is ever going to not weaponize that, and not say that well, he admitted he didn't do the right thing here, so that makes him, an ineffective politician or whatever, or her, And for me, I feel wouldn't it be so refreshing to hear more from our politicians I thought this, but I was wrong, and certainly we've seen that, I think, in a few cases historically, whether it was someone like Biden, obviously a history throughout the Senate. I mean, I remember him saying I was wrong about how he handled the
Anita Hill
situation, and to me, I feel that doesn't have to be a liability. Certainly our enemies in that, politically can use it, but isn't it wonderful to think, oh, wow, we can be wrong, and we can recognize that as people we evolve, we change, our ideas morph, how we hope to accomplish those ideas morph. And I think that to me is a really respectable thing and an honorable thing.
Yeah, and I think especially for leaders or rock stars, when people or celebrities, when they get in trouble with something, I think it's very easy to be I was wrong about that. Don't do that. Take it from me.
Yeah.
Let this be a lesson for you that I had to go through.
Right.
And then it's not something that you're having to defend or deny or argue with other people about. And so I think something a lot of men could benefit from is that kind of humility